Congressman Markwayne Mullin. Mullin elected to take over retiring Senator Jim Inhofe's seat at our nation's capital.
He defeated Democrat Kendra Horn with nearly 62% of the vote. We sat down with him this morning to talk about his plans for the Senate.
And we are joined by now Senator-elect Markwayne Mullin here on News 9. Congratulations, Markwayne, on the big win.
Thank you so much.
Tell us a little bit about your thoughts, the campaign, and just how you're feeling about working in the U.S. Senate.
Well, we're excited about it. Of course, the campaign itself, very humbling. When we got in this race, we said we'd never let anybody outwork us. And man, my whole team went to work. We had an army of volunteers in all 77 counties. My campaign team just worked tirelessly, and we're excited to be here. But it's humbling, too, to think that many people are willing to support us and take the fight to Washington, D.C. And so we're ready to get to work.
How did this election differ from your run for the House?
Well, I had about 2/3 more of the state. My district was huge, District 2, which covered about 1/3 of the state, but it was all eastern side. It was interesting to really get acquainted with the west side of the state. I've been out to the west side, but mainly to go bird hunting, or to sell cattle out there, which we did quite a bit out in the Panhandle. But to really dive into the community and get to know some of the unique challenges that are quite different than the east side of the state, and then just geographically, I tell people from our ranch and in Westville, I can get to Memphis, Tennessee, an hour and a half faster than I can get to Guyman, Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just it's a huge area to cover.
Outgoing Senator Inhofe was on the Armed Services Committee, led out on that committee for the Republicans, and boy, it's so important for our air bases here in Oklahoma. You've been on the Energy and Commerce committees. As you now go into the Senate, what will your priority be?
Our number one priority will be getting on the Senate Armed Service Committee. Our military bases in Oklahoma represent about 1/3 of our economy, and it has a huge economic impact, not just with the county and the city that they're in, but the surrounding counties. We want to make sure that we build upon what Senator Inhofe has laid down, which is a great foundation to build upon. And so the Senate Armed Services Committee is what we want to be on. We'd love to be on energy, obviously, EPW, being that I'm going to be the first Native American elected to the Senate since 2005. We're obviously going to be on a committee that has direct oversight in relations with the Native American community.
Nationally, control of the Senate is still up in the air. You have served in both the minority and majority during your time in the House. How does that impact your job representing Oklahoma as you move into this Senate seat?
When you're in the minority, you have little ability to maneuver at all in the House. In the Senate, you still have a little bit more wiggle room. You got to remember that the Senate was designed for the minorities to have say in the legislative process. But I will tell you, I do not want to be in the minority again. That is very difficult. It's very frustrating. You show up to work every day, and you know that you're going to probably lose the fight because it comes down in the House as a simple majority. But in the Senate, I think you have a lot more independent ability to move. And so while we'd rather be in the Senate, my majority, if for some reason, which I don't think is going to happen, I believe we will still win the minority or majority, and just slightly. My work habit and our fight for Oklahoma values and making sure we're doing our best to have a strong voice in Washington, D.C. won't change.
Well, Senator-elect Markwayne Mullin, thanks for sharing time with us here in Oklahoma City this morning. Congratulations again on the big win.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks for having me, too.
Thank you.